Hello, lovelies. Welcome to the channel. We should be live now, and today's live stream, obviously, as it says on the thumbnail, is going to be about the new moon in Sagittarius, which for EST, Eastern Standard Time, I believe it is going to occur at 23rd of November, 5:57 p.m. I have no idea when that is going. That is going to be at the same day, 23rd of November, but it will be 7 hours behind. That will be 10 a.m., 10:57 a.m. for me, right? And now I'm gonna use my tarot cards to see how this is gonna turn out for each star sign. What are gonna be the energies, where the things are heading, and I'm going to start off with the collective reading, which, by the way, if you had paid attention to the thumbnail, you would have saw 5 cards there, which are the cards of the collective reading itself. So give me a moment here to put all the statistics up so I make sure that the stream is running well. Hello, Sam. Welcome to the stream, mate. Glad to have you around from the beginning. Right, so immediately when I turned out the cards, which by the way are the first one, that's going to be the Knight of Swords. Well, it says the Knight of Swords, but that is the Aleister Crowley deck, and in it, knights are kings in the traditional deck. All right, so we have the King of Swords. Hello, Debbie. Yeah, long time no see. I guess your spouse, your mate, is keeping you busy. As the last time you were around, you said that you finally had a boyfriend, a person to share your life with. And Shanna, welcome to the stream, girl. Hope you do enjoy the show tonight. So again, King of Swords. That's to be the first one, followed by the Nine of Cups, and that is not really a pleasant turnout, having the Nine of Cups into the second position of this spread. Now, by the way, something that I always forget to do at the beginning, it is to show you the spread. All right, well, that's well, it is fiance now, eh? Oh my god, you're not wasting any time, do ya? Anyway, so the first card shows the environment, the topic, you know, and in generally when the things are happening, under what circumstances and into what environment those things are going to happen. So we do have the King of Swords there. The second card represents the setbacks. You know, what is going to hold us down? What are the things that we should avoid, so to speak, and that is the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups as a detrimental card, right? Because every card in tarot has its let's put it that way, pleasant and unpleasant effects, and this time around the Nine of Cups shows us the unpleasant effects. So the third card represents the behavior, or what are the best things we can do. And we do have the Aeon, no-brainer here, really. The fourth card of the spread represents the lesson that we all are to learn throughout this lunar transit or lunar cycle, whichever way you want to call it. And that is for the world, and it's kind of like a big card, especially for what is going on in Europe here. We do have the page. It says the princess, but that is actually the page of wands. And finally, we do have the supporting energies. That these are always the energies. That is the finger of fate that is going to support us, is going to help us. That card is always interpreted in a pleasant way, and that will be the Emperor. So I wish to start with the lesson first. It's really very short one. And by the way, funny thing, now that I think of, you know, right now I'm playing a video game that it is all about that. And the lesson is, we always have a choice, right? We always can do something about it. Yeah, sometimes with a compromise. Sometimes, you know, we have to kind of like pick the lesser evil, so to speak, or the smaller good. But nonetheless, we always have a choice, because at the end of the day, under consideration should be the greater good or the greater evil, depending on which side on the line we're finding ourselves at. So what will be really the full moon, it's the new moon, I'm sorry, into Sagittarius all about? That is for the world in general, the collective reading. It's about solving the problems. Okay, we do have the King of Swords being right there on the very prime position, and that is when strategies, maneuvers, way outs in generally, way outs of difficulties are to be concluded. And the result of that should be a little bit of a relief, you know, a little bit of a relief on the economy, a little bit of a relief on the war effort, for example, okay, a little bit relief on the domestic issues that every single person have, like your bills for electricity, water accommodation, your rent, and so on and so forth. Also, this is going to affect every single individual of all of us, but that relief is not going to come if everybody it's clinging to their own personal interest. And this is where the Nine of Cups really plays in, because the Nine of Cups, we all know, guys, that it is about being happy. When you are happy, when you are fully satisfied. So here there must be some kind of a compromise reached about the resolution of the difficulties and of the issues, unless we don't want to resolve those issues. So should we cling to be constantly happy and always have it the easy way around? We kind of like slam on the table, and if our demands are not met, or in other words, whether it's going to be our way or the highway, then there will be no peace in mind, there will be no peace in economy, for example, and that is from the macro economy to the micro economy. There will be no what is the English word here, when two parties agree, there will be no treaties whatsoever on a global scale and on a domestic scale as well. And the funny thing about all that, because the Aeon is on the third position, it will become pretty obvious what must be done, right? Throughout the next couple of weeks, there are going to be circumstances, there are going to be, for example, informations that are coming around, which is, by the way, already starting. We can see that. I'm not going to talk about it, okay? But I can see that it happened a couple of days ago, and now people are understanding that, you know, things are not black and white. Nonetheless, in the next couple of weeks, there are going to be, whether circumstances, like I said, or pieces of information showing up here and there that are going to make the path forward, so to speak, pretty much clear to all of us. Now, are we going to walk it? That's a different story. Like I said, the path is going to be ugly for all of the sides. Because if you are to make a compromise, the other side also have to make a compromise. If you are to make a compromise with your results, there is going to be a compromise with the gains as well. So everything is going to have a compromise. Therefore, we have to be reasonable, and that is exactly how the King of Swords at the end of the day plays out. If you want to reach a conclusion, if you want to reach a treaty, if you want to reach a deal, that must serve for all of the parties at the end of the day. And that will not going to be a big issue to find a reasonable ground where it's going to serve for the all parties, because the Emperor supports us all, and the Emperor, it's in this particular, can I put it into words, situation, it's exactly that, when it's pretty much, I don't know how to explain it, but let's put it that way, the means everyone to maintain their dignity, and in the same time to maintain their control over their own is going to be presented, while they will have to make a compromise with something. So at the end of the day, we all can win, all right? That is the point here. But that is only if we do allow the other side to have a way out, so they can feel a winner as well. Very, very important transit. Jasmine and Mattia, thank you guys. Thank you girls, by the way. It's not guys, it's girls. Thank you girls for your 19.99 each super chat support. For you, Jasmine. For you, Mattia. Thank you. And make sure that you do stay till the end of the stream, where you're gonna have your personalized reading for the full moon in for the new moon, I'm sorry, in Sagittarius. All right, there we go. And now I am to jump to the 12 star signs. I'm gonna start with Aries, and I'm gonna end up with Pisces, reading the star signs in order. Also, 3 of you are gonna hopefully win a free reading with me. I'm gonna tell you when that is gonna happen. Well, spoiler alert, one is gonna be after Cancer, another after Scorpio, and the final one after Pisces. I'm always doing it that way. And when the time comes, you get to ask a question that you want me to read for with my tarot cards. I'm gonna pick one of your questions if there are more than one, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. Hold on a second, one card just kind of like fell from the deck. Right. Where were I? Yeah, about the free reading. Other than that, if you do wish to have your own personal consultation with me, you can always go to my website, where you're going to find, or which you're going to find in the description down below. And at my website, at the very front page, you can see a full list of my services and their pricing. Well, Mattia, long story short, the message is that there is always a choice, there is always a way out, and it's a lunar transit of a problems resolution, basically. It's a lunar transit where we can find a way out of whatever difficulties we are facing, but that is only if we kind of like look at the situation in a way that everybody has to win at the end of the day. Obviously, if you do decide to support the channel and the stream, guys, through super chat, you are gonna have your own personal new moon reading at the end of it. That's pretty much guaranteed. That is in case your super chat doesn't carry on inquiry with it. If it does, then the inquiry is going to be answered instead. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same format of reading that I did just right now for the collective, and each star sign is going to receive. Well, it's a topic sensitive about the recent development of the war effort. That is something I don't want to talk about because I don't know anything. Okay, just what I read on the news, you know, and watch on the news. But I do have my own opinion, and also I do have my own interpretation of the recent events. But I don't want to, it's a topic sensitive, and I don't want to kind of like make them public. So starting up with the first star sign, that's going to be Aries. By the way, if you are confused which star sign I'm reading for, you can pretty much observe the glyph which is right there. So yeah, starting up with Aries. First one, that's going to be the 7 of Cups. Moving on next for Aries, that is going to be the 9 of Swords. followed by the Fool. The fourth one, that's going to be the Moon. And the last one, that's going to be the Eight of Pentacles. This reading can summarize under a phrase or a say, whatever you want to call it, that Pisces Moonbeam stole from me, by the way, a few weeks ago, which is, and I stole from a movie. I think the movie was Law Abiding Citizen or something, where Gerard Butler were just doing nasty things. It was a really good movie. So and this the phrase is that we just can't fight fate. Now, what we have here in those cards, which again, by the way, are those five. Okay. What we have here, it is that, well, a few things. Now, the first one, it is that no matter how much thou waits, thy path is always going to be walked. Therefore, Aries, there are to be some fateful circumstances or events which are to happen to you in the next couple of weeks, which no matter how fearful, let's put it that way, no matter how fearful you can find yourself at walking down that path, you are gonna have to, one way or another. And that's why you may even already have start feeling, we are not into the new moon in Sagittarius yet, but maybe you are start feeling some kind of like emotional disturbance. It's like something is coming, but you don't know what exactly is coming. Okay. And for what the cards are showing, what it is coming, it's has been cooking up for quite a long time now. And it's bound to set you on a path that you cannot avoid. Well, you can, but it's gonna haunt you. All right, if you do avoid it now, it's gonna happen in a couple of months again, and then again, and then again. No different than, you know, if you are afraid to start a relationship with someone, you kind of like agree that you can't be together for kind of reasons, and destiny is always kind of like placing you together. You decide to go and watch a movie into the cinema, and that person is there. You know, you go to a party, and what do you know, you see them there. You start a job, and it turns out that they are working next office. Oh my god, right? It's constantly just something that you cannot avoid, you cannot escape. That was just an example though. And for what the cards are showing, doesn't matter how unbelievable everything looks like, that it is to unbelievable to work out. That is not unbelievable as a circumstances. It's quite believable because it's real. But no matter how unbelievable it kind of looks like, that the things can turn out, they can turn out, and you're gonna start seeing that into the next couple of weeks. And I cannot make a choice for you, nor the general reading can make a choice for you. Although the guidance here, as we do have the Fool card into the third position of the spread, it speaks that you should give it a chance. You should give it a go, okay, with however one condition. Have no expectations, because otherwise it's not like things are not going to work out. They may not work out according to your expectations, to their kind of like maximum. And that way, if you do have your expectations, you are bound to always going to be disappointed, and therefore you should have no expectations whatsoever. That way you are always going to be in a surplus of happiness. And most likely though, that is, I don't want to say definitively here, but most likely we're talking about your personal love life, right? And especially for the single Aries, you're really gonna start going out. Okay, you're really gonna need to start going out and introducing yourself into people. People you know, people you don't know, doesn't matter. It's just introducing yourself and making the world see it clearly that you are single and you are ready to be single no more, let's put it that way. And long story short, that is your new moon in Sagittarius, guys. Don't fight fate, because you can't. I mean, it always gonna find its way to you. So moving on, next we do have Taurus. Good evening, Susie, and hello, Tammy. Welcome to the stream. The first one for Taurus, that will be the Five of Wands, followed by the Three of Swords, of a bit more active and dynamical transit for you, Taurus, than the one that you may be used to, or than the pace that you may be used to. The third one, that will be the Knight of Wands. The fourth card for you, Taurus, that will be the Wheel of Fortune. Definitely is going to be a lot of movement. Yeah, and the final one, that will be the Four of Wands. Okay. And it's going to be a lot of movement. That is for a reason that there are going to be very how do I put it into words, unexpected, let's say it that way. They're going to be very unexpected opportunities, left, right, center. I mean, they're gonna be up, down, everywhere around you, and you barely gonna have gonna find the time to explore. And we're not talking even about performing, but just explore in a sense of research all of them. However, the most important one of those opportunities will be very attractive, and you are gonna right away see where that opportunity is leading to you. The only thing that I can tell you right now is that this opportunity will allow you to take the upper hand on a failing enterprise. Whether it is your love life you're failing, or your career that you're failing, because we cannot be on top of everything, right? Or your finances, or your house, whatever the case. Okay, so this is the place where that enterprise is gonna show up, that opportunity is gonna show up, and it's something that you should catch, definitely. So this transit for you, Taurus, is presenting you with an opportunity to make a turnaround. It's presenting you with opportunity to make a reversal. And instead of sliding down the sinkhole, you can find yourself on the top of the world in regards to that enterprise, and above everything else, to really close the deal, kind of like finalize the very important cycles of development for you, whether development career-wise, or whether development into your business financially, so on and so forth. And on top of that, this development or finalizing of development, it will be under the circumstances that you have attended to every single important detail. Not every single detail, but every single important detail. One thing you need to learn throughout the cycle, it is that such an opportunity comes once in a lifetime. And if you don't take it and you fail for good, it's because of you. Okay, you are the only one to be blamed. Again, this opportunity doesn't have to be pretty though, but you're gonna feel a lot of enthusiasm about it. You may not like it, but at the end of the day, you will feel a lot of enthusiasm. You will know that it's gonna work out. That's what my point is. Keep quiet about it. We have the Three of Swords. Okay. And into the second position, and what that card represents, it is that if you do start sharing with those around you the opportunity you have, people try to either talk you out of it, or they're going to tell you how unfit you are to prevail, so to speak, into that opportunity. People are going to even try to make you think less of yourself, like how stupid you are to even consider such an option, and so on and so forth. So keep it for yourself until you accomplish a enviable progress into the opportunity itself. And that's pretty much, long story short, for you, Taurus, for the upcoming couple of weeks, which are going to be under the mark of the new moon in Sagittarius. Next one, that will be Gemini. All right, first one for Gemini, we have the Eight of Cups, followed by the second card, which is the Page of Pentacles. Moving on next, that is going to be the Page of Wands. Then we do have the Ten of Wands. And the final one, that's going to be the Star card. Let me take a swing first. Okay, this transit for you refers about two things which are overlapping, okay? And it shows that one isn't worth it over the other. For what I do understand from those cards, all of your concurrent problems, which are actually not just only slowing you down, but probably wreaking havoc everywhere in your life, are because you're trying to push both things forward. Like, for example, you may be working two jobs, or who knows, you may be having two families. Because recently, there was such a person. It was on all over the news here in Bulgaria, and I don't know how people were able to pull it off. Even, I mean, they're using a false identity or something. I don't know, because I'm pretty sure that when you are once married, you can't marry again. It's just you are written in the lists or whatever, and when they check you out, you can't marry again. But I don't know. So or you're trying to push two similar projects, you know, according to these cards, one of those things isn't working out very well for now. It's gonna become worse in the future, and that is exactly why you need to drop it off, right? That is for what those cards are showing. Once you drop it off, then there are going to be different, however, new stuff, new enterprises that you can now start putting your attention into. Dropping your second, for example, dropping your second job is going to allow you to be more dedicated to your family, or to your friends, or to yourself, whichever one you choose. Okay, and the job that you need to drop shouldn't be because of the money, though. That is just going forward with the example, but it should be if you put a stress on you, right? If what you are going through pays off, not just only through money, but also through peace, for example, through emotional content, and so on and so forth. And once you do drop off the one that doesn't work, whether a person or a job or a project, then all of your problems gone. They're not going to be there anymore. Things are going to improve in a matter of if not hours, days. Okay, I'm talking about couple up to 3 days. And from there, like I said, you can now diversitize yourself. Make your experiences more versatile around. It's by the way, I want to mention something important here. You may, if you do have a friend, Gemini, that you have more feelings toward, like, you know, you are growing to love them, like romantically love them. Next couple of weeks under the new moon in Sagittarius, at least according to my cards, it's not a good time where you expose yourself. It is just according to them. Even if things work out, you are about to start on the wrong foot here. Okay. So that was Sagittarius. Now moving on, next we do have Cancer. Michelle or Michele, I need to learn to pronounce your name. Hello, welcome to the stream. First one for Cancer, that will be the Knight of Wands, followed by the second card for you guys, which is the Nine of Swords. Moving on, next we do have, oh my god, that's gonna be the Tower. You are for a hell of a ride. Then it is the Ace of Cups, yeah. And the final card for you, that's going to be the Strength. So, for example, if person came to me for a reading and said, I am single and I want to know what awaits me, say, next couple of weeks, and I draw those cards, I would have told that person, yeah, I mean, you are gonna fall heads over heels first sight into someone. That is how intense the next couple of weeks are gonna be for you guys. It's a very telegraphed reading, if I may put it that way. It's very dependable on what situation you're finding yourself at. So here I'm gonna take a little bit of a different approach. Instead of reading completely general, I'm gonna cover the 4 most common kind of like states of where a person can be. So within your career, okay, most likely you are to be assigned to a task that you know little about. It's going to be a very problematic task, and you may even consider that you are assigned there, so your boss has a pretense afterwards to kick you off. Okay. However, you should not be afraid. Right? You should not be afraid of exploring. You should not be afraid of learning, of giving your best there. Next couple of weeks for you, Cancer, is about not just only trying, but getting better. And that will happen should you take on the challenge and little by little kind of like overcoming the challenge. That is very important. However, sitting or kind of like making yourself only 1 second, even for a second, idle may cost you the challenge itself. And when I do say a challenge, I don't mean it in a bad way. That is a challenge that once you overcome it, you simply end up in a much better place. At the end of the day, this enterprise, this ordeal, so to speak, is gonna have a nurturing and cleansing effect upon your life. And it is happening to you, because if it does, if a thing of such an intensity doesn't happen to you, nothing is going to happen to you. It's just there will be no movement whatsoever in your life. You may be seeing the same people all the time and nothing is going to happen there. You may be working the same thing over and over and nothing is happening there. All right, you may be kind of like going into the same circles of society over and over, and just you can't find anybody to relate your life with there, and so on and so forth. So something intense must happen, and it is about to happen in these couple of weeks under the new moon in Sagittarius. So yeah, you may be assigned, you are to be assigned into a task that you may not know much about. You are going to be scared. Don't be afraid. Just do your best and face it with an enterprising nature. Looking for work, well, in that case, a good job is gonna pop up for you, but it's not gonna be, how can I put it into words? It's not gonna be a job that's you may feel entitled at the start, okay? That you may that you feel confident you can handle the job right away. Again, it's the advice of the cards. It is just to try take it. Long story short, what you lack, it will present to you from the universe next these couple of weeks, okay? Not in a form or shape you expect, and not in a way you expect. Nonetheless, it makes it an additive, it makes it an addition to your life, and it makes it, long story short, the missing piece out there that will allow you to progress faster with your growth. Love life, I already said, for the single people, heads over heels for sight into someone. Now for those who are in a relationship, those cards could mean literally almost anything, depending on what situation you are. It could go to the extent of an unplanned pregnancy, because you're definitely gonna be scared, right? For some of you as well, may turn out to be that one morning you wake up and you do realize that you cannot live with that person, which is again kind of like a scary thought that turns around everything you stand for into that relationship. You become more committed, more not you up until this point, and that is the point of this experience, Cancer, that you will become more of not you. You will become a bigger version of you. That is literally the Cancer reading. And now one of you can have a free reading with me, guys. In order to participate into that contest of a free reading, just input a question you want me to read for with the tarot cards. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to input your questions, and after 5 minutes, should there be any questions, I'm going to pick one and perform a professional tarot reading on it. And the question you can input into the, I think I already said it, but yeah, you can input it into the comments down below. Hello there, Gwen Thai, I believe it's how it is pronounced. I can't pronounce the first one though. You know what? For the next stream, I will have to make something like a label that it is going on the screen, that it is a free reading time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I even haven't an idea how I'm gonna set up the stream layout. So not the Italian one, which is Michele, but rather Michelle, right? All right. Sam, I cannot pick up that question. It's because tarot is not designed to read for health. Literally, there are a few cards, but they can only tell you that you should seek a doctor, right? That is the only thing that that is the only thing that tarot can tell you about your health. If you do speak a spiritual advice, astrologer can give you one. There is a section in astrology which is called a medical astrology or whatever. There are experts into it. You can seek a Pisces moonbeam for counsel for that, because she's the astrologer here. Although I am studying relationship astrology, though I'm not feeling confident enough to talk about it here in front of you in lives, guys. Hopefully soon, but for now I'm just gonna stick to tarot. I'm always gonna stick to tarot. Tarot is gonna be a main focus, but it's gonna be a nice thing if I can come for example, into a new moon in Sagittarius and tell you a few things about the relationship astrology, or what is going on in terms of your relationships in the sky. Okay, again, Susie, or Susu too. I can't answer that one because again, it's related to a medical thingy. So the outcome could be good, but it could not be the one that you are expecting. Good is relative, okay? Because for example, if someone has an illness, the outcome of the of an exam, it could be good for the illness, right? Meaning that the illness is treatable, but it's not going to be good for you because you know that you have you have an illness. I don't know. All right, Aquadeb, what do I need to know right now? Pretty nice question, and I do love those questions. So that's going to be the one. There are going to be two more free readings giveaway, guys. So just because I picked Debbie right now, that doesn't mean that you won't be next after Scorpio or maybe after Pisces as well. All right, Debbie, those are the cards we have for you. I don't know what they are. Six of Pentacles, one catalyst or one influence is the moon, the other influence is the three of cups. Very strong elemental dignity, by the way. It strives for stability, and what the cards are showing here is that you have planted some kind of a seeds that you are, if you aren't seeing right now, you are about to start seeing the results of those seeds. Seeds in love, seeds in business, whatever the case. And you need to know that you did a good job, and right now you need to allow those seeds to grow. Just to give you an example of it, you wanna establish a big business project. Those cards are showing that you did your job, all right, or the majority of it. You can finish it, but you need to allow the results of that job to kind of like unfold, thrive, and after that happens, you can think of for your next move, or you can undertake your next move. Now, I am understanding your current state that you may be finding yourself right now, kind of like feeling a little bit in the dark, right? That is kind of normal, because things doesn't happen overnight. Give it a little bit of a room and space to develop and to unfold. For example, if you asked your fiance for a date of your wedding, or oh well, looking for a forever home, all right, that's a good example. So you're looking for your forever home, and you are not finding right now, you are not finding right now the ideal one. That's great, or rather, like, that is not great, but you do have an idea of it. According to those cards, that idea is something that can be met. I mean, your expectations, or rather like your criteria, are not unreasonable, because there are people with unreasonable criteria. So they're not unreasonable, and soon you are going to find such a home, all right, to purchase, that is. And according to those cards, even if you don't have the funds to purchase it, the offer is going to wait enough until you do. Love life, welcome to the stream. What are you talking about? I'm here for since 1 year. I've started doing live streams at the start of this year here on YouTube. So yeah, I was always being here. Glad to have you around though. All right, that was the first free reading. There are going to be 2 more that are to be given away to you guys. One will be after Scorpio is done, then one after Pisces, and then the super chat. So super chat readings, anyone who decides to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you're gonna have a reading at the end of the stream. That's guaranteed. If your super chat carries on no inquiry with it, the reading is going to be about your personal experience and how the new moon in Sagittarius is going to affect you personally. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same format I'm doing for the star signs, a 5-card spread. Or if it does have an inquiry with it and it's still $20 or above, then I'm going to choose a suitable spread for your question. Puppy, you mean like a dog? Thank you, Skinny. Oh, thank you, Love Life. I can tell you that. Jasmine, hold on a second. So when the moon is new in Sagittarius, it's gonna be 38 degrees. I believe. No, 1 degree and 38 minutes. Okay, 1 degree and 38 minutes in Sagittarius. If I read that correctly, Pisces Moonbeam can say for sure though. All right, next star sign we do have Leo. First one for Leo, we do have the Eight of Cups, followed by the Nine of Wands. Then we do have the Emperor. Moving on next, that's going to be the Five of Swords. And the final one for Leo, that will be the Three of Cups here. So for Leo, we are talking about phases here, like a phase of something, okay? And for what those cards are showing, it is that in this current phase, you did all you could, and you just have to move on to the next phase if you do want to have some kind of how can I put it into words, some kind of a results into the ordeal you're finding yourself into right now. Now those cards most likely represent your personal life. Again, this is a general reading. It could refer to your career as well, but most likely about your personal life here. And the situation in a friendship or a love entanglement may not be something you consider polished. It's not bad, but it's not something you consider polished. Now, for what those cards are showing, you have a chance to shift things in a sense of make some rearrangements, right? Conscious changes into the situation, which is going to be quite detrimental. So for what those cards are showing, you should leave it as it is right now, okay? Because if you feel dissatisfied, the other side feels dissatisfied as well, and they're willing to move on from it, as you should. Giving you a very simple example, you argue with your fiance, okay? And according to those cards, your fiance wants to leave it aside. I mean, they want to leave the argument, not talk about it anymore for as long as you do the same. So it's very important that in the next couple of weeks, guys, you do not harp about things, okay? You do not like how your home is decorated. Well, according to the cards, again, you couldn't do it any better, or it can't be done any better at that given stage. So just move on to something else. Stop harp about the decoration of your home, or you are harping about that again your fiance is constantly at work and they are not committed enough to the situation. Well, this is how it's gonna go for the next couple of weeks at least. Maybe they do have a crisis at their work and they have to put an extra attention there, and so on and so forth. Now, the lesson that one needs to learn, or you, Leo, needs to learn, which for Leo, I believe that's a little bit of a difficult lesson, it is that the extent of one thing can go as far as it can, and afterwards things starts to fall apart. I mean, you can talk about one thing for so many times, okay, and afterwards you are just making the other person more and more against you. No different than if you want to go out with someone and you tell them, hey, I want to go out with you, when do you want to meet, and they tell you that they can't think of it right now because they do have other things on their head, right? They have to sort them out first before they actually think about going out with you. But that is not an answer to you, right? And I mean, any other day, or even worse, every day you are mentioning, hey, when we're gonna go out, hey, when we're gonna go out, and on the 5th day they're just gonna tell you, never, we're never gonna go out. So yeah, I mean, make your point and leave it at that. And if you don't like it, obviously you just, well, I don't know what to tell you in that particular case. But as soon as you kind of like let it go, okay, let it slide, swipe it under the rug, and move on to more pleasant things, because there are more pleasant things. I mean, there are so much better perspectives around you. Why do you have to focus on the negative side of thy life right now? Instead, focus on the positive. Focus on the one that you actually can make a difference. Okay, the things actually depend on you. And should you do so, Leo, then you are about to bound to take on the reins and exert a lot of control around you. Just don't get intoxicated with that control, because it's gonna bite you behind afterwards. What is on your side? It is the way you feel. Others are gonna feel the same way as well. So if you have grievances towards someone, rest assured they feel the same about you, right? If you do like someone, be sure that they do like you as well, etc, etc. Right, so that was Leo. Now moving on, next we do have Virgo. Yeah, we do have the Tower card for you, followed by the Hierophant. Afterwards, we do have for you, Virgo, the 10 of Wands. Then it is the 6 of Swords. And the final one, that's going to be the 10 of Pentacles. Well, at least the 10 of Pentacles at the end kind of gives it's like making a warranty on your car. You know, it's a period where you know that you will have to speed up with your car and take some risky turns, and you do make a warranty that in case something goes wrong, you ain't gonna lose anything. And yeah, it's gonna be a nasty one. That's because things are gonna start taking a quite of an awkward shape, career-wise, relationship-wise. It's literally everywhere for you, Virgo. Well, long story short, almost nothing is gonna go as planned and as comfortable to you. So you will have to kind of like, I don't know how to put it into English, guys, but you will have to think on a go, rather like as soon as emergency ensues, we'll have to take a snap decision how to tackle with that emergency. And emergencies are going to be everywhere, right? Every freaking where, that according to those cards. So what will be the result of all that? Well, the result is going to be primarily is going to hit your personal life, friendships, relationships. You're going to start losing trust into people, which is a bad thing, obviously, and you're going to start doubting their reliability. Let me see the third card again. Yeah. So it's going to be very important that you grapple on the reality, or what I mean here is that you do grapple or what you know to be true. Soon as you start doubting into someone, remind yourself about all the quirks that that person carries on with them, the positive and the negative quirks again. And that is going to be the case until you do something different about yourself. Now we do have the Six of Swords into the 4th position, and that is the lesson that you need to learn. And Six of Swords, it is when it goes like, the lesson goes like that. You do have a you do have a hope, you do have a dream, right? Well, does just thinking about it enough to make it real? I can tell you the answer of that, it isn't. Okay, just thinking about being rich doesn't make you rich. Just thinking about being loved doesn't make you being loved, right? And actions are needed. Unfortunately though, the way you set yourself up is making those actions not possible, okay? And that's why you will have to go through these tumultuous experiences into the next couple of weeks, so you get yourself adjusted in a way that those actions become possible afterwards. Think it as a chiropractic session. You know, you go there because you can't move your body, right? And even though it hurts a little bit when you get adjusted, the feeling after that, it is one of the best feelings that that one can have. Although the experience there, especially if it is your first time, it is traumatic when you hear the cracks that your neck is producing, for example. First time I was there, I thought that my neck broke. It's just, oh. Anyway, where were I? Important thing it is that you do not burn bridges, especially when it comes to personal relationships. You experience something in your, whether love life or whether into your business life, with your colleagues or whether with your friends, that you do not like. You do not act emotionally. That is very, very important. But sleep on it before you render your decision. Are you going to work with those people again, or are you going to leave your spouse, or are you going to cut off that friendship, whatever the case? Because no matter how ugly your personal situations or your relationship situations may look like in the next couple of weeks, you know, scandals and fights everywhere and disagreements and so on and so forth, the lesson which correlates with the collective reading lesson is that there is always a way. And according to the Six of Swords, there can be always a common ground, and the key for that, it is the common cause, right? Good friendships, harmonious relationships, lucrative business maneuvers, and that all can be accomplished by you maintaining your independence. That is the best of the reading itself. So brace up, Virgo. You are for a rocky ride in the next couple of weeks, but again, it's going to improve your status and your life drastically. Just through the circumstances, just if you do only gnash your teeth and just powerhouse through it, it's going to be enough to feel much more improved at the end of that transit. All right, moving on. Next, we do have Libra. First one for Libra, Four of Wands, Four of Cups. I'm sorry, it's the Four of Cups, followed by the Ace of Swords. Moving on, next we do have the Nine of Pentacles. Then it is the Ten of Swords. And the final one, that's going to be the Five of Wands. So it's giving up on one thing to get a bigger one, right? It's like giving up on that partnership to get a bigger partnership, giving up on that love interest to get a better love interest, giving up on that hobby to get a better hobby. And under better, I mean the one that is going to provide more, is gonna have you have more benefits from. All right, you are gonna feel better, it will be more interesting, and it basically going to stir your life if you do feel that your life is on the halt right now. And that is, long story short, for your for your full moon here, new moon, I'm sorry, into Sagittarius. Few notes though for you, Libra, for what those cards are showing. Now, first one, when it comes up clear to you what that better thing is, right? Person, job, project, whatever the case, don't announce it right away. Now, we do have the Ace of Swords, which is on the second position, and that card being there says that if you are honest, or rather like not honest but open, it's not like you are lying, it is just you are not saying everything, right? Being open about it is going to cause conflicts, not just only conflicts, but it's going to cause an unnecessary troubles. Like, for example, if you do find a better job, right, and you are thinking about replacing your current one with your with that better job, and if you share that with your supervisor, hey, you know what, I'm thinking about leaving the job to go to X company, right? You better be sure, or rather like what is the English expression here? I don't know. My point is that at the very same evening, your supervisor is going to pick up the phone, call that company, and is going to slander your name so they don't take you. Okay, this isn't guaranteed. The opportunity is there, but it all comes to how you're going to play your cards, Libra, in order to make it possible. And you do play your cards, but by being discreet about it. Because into your current situation that you are in, you do not know everything. You for example, your supervisor may cheering you up to do it, but within them they do not want you to do it. Why? Well, because they need you about something. Because according to these cards, you are quite efficient, for the lack of a better word, and comfortable to others, that is, and to yourself, by the way, for what those cards are showing, where you sit exactly. You serve your purpose, and everything around you wants to keep up that way. However, that puts a diminishing returns on your progress, right? So the more progress you make, the harder the progress comes, and that's why you do need something more accelerating, let's put it that way, which is going to be the better option. And by the way, this this option that is going to show up for you, it's going to be just the straight flush in life, so to speak. That's going to be one of the best things that actually one can hope for its corresponding situation. Okay, one of the best things. Again, very important to be discreet about it. And quickly you are gonna grow to learn that one cannot have everything, and at the end of the day, sacrifice must be made. So one thing can give way to another. One cannot have everything of the same, right? You can't have all the men or all the women in the world. You can't have all the jobs and so on and so forth. You have to sacrifice one for the other. And surprising events are going to be all by your side. I mean, luck is going to be all by your side. And where no matter how bad the situation looks out at the moment, at the next moment, you can turn it around. So it's very important next couple of weeks not to give up, no matter the circumstances. And finally, we are closing up here on Scorpio. So let's check on what that new moon in Sagittarius is going to be about me. First one for Scorpio, that's going to be the Chariot, followed by the King of Wands. Moving on, next we do have the Five of Swords, followed by the Nine of Cups, and the final one is going to be the Page of Pentacles. I don't know what those cards are talking about. They talk about ambition, right? And they talk about a incinerating ambition. And I'm relating to myself. So getting your ambition at all cost here, it's the worst thing that's that you can do, at least for the next couple of weeks. It's a quite of a complicated read. There is a fine and thin line, like the line in between love and hatred, right? It is thin. You may hate someone, and before you know it, you realize that's actually not hatred. I mean, you hate them because you love them, right? That's usually how it goes. But and that is the thin line we have here. So it's an ambition drive that we should avoid in the next couple of weeks. It is when the ambition blinds you and you don't actually see what is going on around you. However, this new moon in Sagittarius is gonna allow us to have a wish fulfillment, like things we wish or situations we wish, we can make them happen, and that is why the fine line is there. So we need to exert just as much influence or efforts or presence or whatever it's needed to make it happen, but not enough to make it at all costs. I don't know how to put it into words, because should we make it at all costs? At the end, the victory of it is gonna have that sour and bitter taste in our mouth, and we ain't gonna like how things are gonna turn out. But this transit carries on all the prerequisites, so to speak, to make us feel once more proud of ourselves or our personal capabilities, right? To make us feel independent, to make us feel that we do have what it takes. And that is the primary, how can I put it into words, topic, that we can pull it through while we are not kind of like bringing the chaos behind us, so to speak. And the lesson, the answer to that, how we can do it, is buried in the lesson of what those cards are showing here. We do have the Ten of Cups, and that is that we need to learn before we actually throw ourselves into something like a relationship or like a friendship or like a business endeavor. We must be very aware how much is going to be enough. That is what I am talking about here. How much is going to be enough? Because there is that we are humans, you know, we are only humans, and we carry on that unpleasant, at least for me, part of the human nature, that we always want more. You know, and when I was studying the tarot cards and I was studying the Ten of Cups, I said, what? I mean, that's not true. But I thought about it for a couple of days, and I realized that there isn't anything more true than that. And I gave myself a very many examples. And if you do observe a child, which is the most primal side of the human nature, you will see that that kind of like manifests itself every week. And I'm going to give you a very simple example. You go out with your child or with a nephew or a niece that you do have, and they tell you, come on, buy me that toy. It will be the last thing I will ask you about. Okay? You buy me that and I will not ask for anything anymore. And you say, fine, you know, if you ain't going to ask for anything anymore, I'm going to buy it to you. And you buy it. However, next week, the same story repeats, right? Come on, buy me the same thing. If you do prayers, I am sure that in your prayers you said, if you grant me that wish, you know, if you do pray to the universe or to God, I'm going to ask you for anything more. However, a few months after that, you start asking for more. And that is very normal because we get accustomed to what we live in. Okay. I will share something of my life, guys. I was always wanted to have a gaming console, but because I'm coming from a very poor family, my parents could never afford it. Okay, so that was my way. If I have a gaming console, I will not gonna ask for anything more. However, when I grew old enough to have to afford my own, it's like just a thing that sits here, you know, next to my TV, and I do want more. So I have 2 gaming consoles now. That's my thing. I love video games. But in any case, the lesson that we need to learn as Scorpio, it is that there needs to be a fine line there, you know. How much do you want? And how much is going to be enough? And once that enough is done, you do not ask for anything more, like ever, from it. Because this is where the burning ambition can kind of like burn the whole thing to the ground. Liz, thank you so much for your $5 support. Thank you, Liz. Make sure that you do stay till the end of the stream, where you're going to have your personalized reading for the new moon in Sagittarius. All right, and now one of you is gonna have a free reading, or can have a free reading, so to speak. And all that you gotta do to claim it is just to input a question into the comments down below that you want me to read for with my tarot cards. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to do so, and after that I'm gonna pick, after those 5 minutes expire, I'm gonna pick one of your questions and perform a professional reading on it. That should be any questions asked. If not, I'm just gonna move on to the next 4, to the last 4 star signs, which are gonna be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Then the last free reading is going to take place, and then the super chat readings. Anyone who supports the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are going to get a reading at the end. That's guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same format that I'm doing for the star signs, which is a 5-card spread. So yeah, important transit for Scorpio. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention for Scorpio, which applies to me, by the way. That is not a good couple of weeks where we should put our entertainment needs on a first place. Okay, I don't know why, but it is just showing it. Yeah, you can ask about your relationship. I want to see how long that drive is, because I know you Americans, you're doing crazy drives. It's like 3-4 hour drives. You consider that like nothing. For 3 or 4 hour drives, you cross all the Bulgaria, you go across all the Bulgaria, and we here consider that a crazy long drive. I want to check on how long is that drive actually. Just curious, you know. What are the maps? Why am I blind? Oh, there you go. Okay, Idaho is... Where is it? Swear to God, that is the only state I do not see, and it always happens that way. Oh my God. Doesn't want to even show the route. 36 hours. Yeah, Western side, I found it. Oh, so it's not a Washington city, it's a Washington state. Okay. So it's the shorter route then, because from Washington City it says 36 or 37 hours depending on the path you take. It's crazy long. Oh, Tommy, I'm sure that everything is gonna go smoothly. 8 hours. It's not that long of a drive. All right, Shakti contemplating of filing a large lawsuit for abuse. So, is it worth going for it? That's gonna be the second free reading. Let's check it out. Those are the 3 cards. This is gonna be a long suit. I mean, those two. That is about the longest timing that you can have in tarot. I mean, the longer one is gonna be if you do have the hermit here. Although the hermit would have gave you the optimum results at the end, right? While here we do have let's put it that way, sufficient results, okay, that you can accomplish. Although you have to arm yourself with a lot of patience, because this is gonna be years into development. I don't want to say a decade, but kind of like years into development. And it's very important that you stay put. If you initiate it, you stay put. You leave the lawyers do the lawyer's job, all right? You do not mess around with that. We have this combo here, which is kind of like not just only you, but basically anyone who is unqualified to mess around with it is going to undermine not just only the progression, but the result at the end as well. I don't know what to advise you here. According to the cards, it's worth it, but if you go the long way through, all right, if you do try to make shortcuts, things are not going to work out very, very well, right? It's worth it in a sense that, you know, at the end you have all the chances to win. However, if you win, if you win after, let's say, 15 years, is it really worth it? You wasting 15 years into that? I don't know. So consult yourself with the lawyer, see what they're going to say, how long this is going to take approximately, and you know, make your decision from it. But important thing, again, listen to what your lawyers are saying, because otherwise it has been snowing a lot. Well, we used to have a lot of snow here in Europe, or at least in my country. But the last, how much, 10, 12 years, not much of a snow is falling. Whereas even right now it's raining outside. The temperature, it's 12 degrees, which is crazy. I mean, it's like spring temperatures outside. Or a couple of minutes of guys, and then I'm gonna move to the last 4 star signs, which are Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And afterwards, the last free reading is gonna take place, and then the super chat. So anyone who supports the stream and the channel through super chat, you are gonna have your reading at the end of the stream. That is guaranteed, pretty much. Emily, thank you so much for your 20 US dollars support. Thank you, Emily. Make sure that you do stay till the end, and you're gonna have your personalized reading for the new moon in Sagittarius. All right. Next, Sagittarius. The big boy himself of the celestial event. Yeah, and the big boy has a really good card for the start. We do have the Nine of Cups, followed by this is the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. Moving on next, that's gonna be the Ace of Cups. Well, these three are pretty much a green light. I do have a lot of planets there as well. Well, these three are green lights that the Sagittarius have a carte blanche, so to speak, to do what they feel is good for them. You know what kind of like is gonna make them feel happy. More of that in a second. Then we do have the World. Oh, that's a big lesson. And the last one, it's gonna be the Aeon, especially as a follow-up to the Aeon. So it's a short reading, by the way. I don't know how short it's gonna be, to be honest. So what we have here is that into those couple of weeks, while the moon that are marked by the moon in Sagittarius, at least according to these cards, Sagittarius are gonna have a chance to acquire, long story short, lost happiness, but through new means and through new circumstances. Okay, for example, if you have been robbed of the happiness, I don't know, to, well, the most generic one, you know, to be in a relationship, then you're gonna have your chance or your opportunity to acquire that happiness again, but not with the same person, again, through different means, through different circumstances. Nonetheless, it's going to be the same happiness. Long story short, the spots of your heart that was emptied, you can refill again. You can refill it again. And when you see your life through that, it's going to transcend your reality. In other words, you are going to be freaking happy, guys. We are going to be freaking happy because my moon is in Sagittarius. I mean, gosh, these couple of weeks, even if the world is kind of like falling apart around me, I still are going to be happy. It's almost like an idiotic state or something. I don't know. It's going moon in Sagittarius, we're always going to have a smile on our mouths for one or another reason. But I need to warn you here, Sagittarius, that acquiring that happiness is actually the easy part. It will require no effort on our part. It's just to say yes, or to say let's try it, or whatever the case. Now, sustaining it though, making it, because by default it's going to be a short-term happiness, okay? And in order to transform it into a long-term happiness, then we have to make a maintenance, or in other words, live up to the demand of the situation. Like if you are in a relationship, don't do whatever you like, do whatever the relationship requires. If that is about the job that you lost, right, and you are now hired on a new job that it is making you happy, well, don't do whatever you like at that job. Do whatever the job requires from you. This isn't about making demands or living up to demands. It's about the requirements that you need to live up to. And should you live up to those requirements, then you can expect to have the fullness of life, sensual joy, content. Some of you even may experience ecstasy for a freaking long time, all right? And that is the lesson, that if you do take care of it, is gonna take care, it is gonna take care for you. Even if that's a pet, you know, maybe recently you have lost your pet through a natural passing or some kind of an accident, and in the next couple of weeks you may see a pet that just is going to pull you to buy, and you know that loss is going to be substituted like with that happiness. But take care of your pet, love it, and it's gonna take care of you, and it's gonna love you. Good thing it is that you don't think of it. You don't have to think for it a lot, in a sense of that you don't have to think of how it's gonna happen, because it's gonna this overflowing joy is gonna start happening for you literally on its own accord. And the very first remnants of it, it's that they are gonna be a feeling of an impending change happening into your emotional state, that is, where you felt grief. Now that grief kind of like gives way to something different, to something more, the word is not even exciting, it's more like sensual, so to speak. And that is exactly what you should kind of like maintain, right? Or acquire, should you need to acquire it, as a first step. And one last thing, Sagittarius, I mean, you gotta be prepared to stick with this overflowing joy for a lot of time, alongside with its requirements, though, because before you take, you gotta give. Or through different means, like I said, original Shemaya, through different means. It's not gonna be jungle this time, it could be just a natural forest. And again, just because you're not in a jungle right now, doesn't make you unhappy. I'm talking about the state that you are unhappy at right now, where your heart is empty from. Usually it's related to some kind of a loss. All right, next one. We have Capricorn. Jen, thank you so much for your 1999. Thank you, Jen. Make sure that you do also stay up until the end of the stream, where you're gonna have your personal reading for the new moon in Sagittarius. Uh, it may, well, Jasmine, it may not relate to your love situation at all. Okay, because and I don't believe it does, because right now your heart is not empty there, right? I mean, you do have some affection. I'm talking about where your heart is entirely empty from. Hello, Angela. Yeah, it's quite well. Thank you. And don't worry about it. I mean, my the autocorrect of the modern computers just doesn't like my name at all, so it replaces it. Capricorn, first one, it's gonna be the King of Wands, followed by the Five of Swords. And that's a trend for you, Capricorn. Then it is the Ace of Cups. It's the World. And then we do have the Queen of Pentacles. It is a warning, that's for sure. It is a warning of your headstrong and this time around added steadfast nature that you are exerting, and it's a warning that this is not gonna turn out for you well at the end, because according to these cards, you can jeopardize everything you own. I'm not saying that you can lose it, but jeopardizing it, which obviously is gonna put a lot of strain and stress on you. So what is going to be the best course of action for you? It's hard to explain. The best course of action for these couple of weeks, at least according to these cards, and again I want to repeat here, guys, tarot is not meant to, it is within its design, but it is not meant to make choices for you. I mean, anyone who makes choices for you, I personally do not consider that being a how do you call it, ethical practice. You should be the one who makes your own choices. However, according to these cards, in order to avoid such a weakening of thy stability, you should stop yourself for a second from whatever you are chasing. You may be chasing a woman, you may be chasing a man or a client or whatever the case, and think of, you know, the things you currently have, like friendships, families, current enterprises, and try to answer, do you really need what you are chasing? Because it's a big question mark according to these cards, the very least. Now, these cards are showing here that until you are not completely done with what you are sitting on at that particular point, you should not chase anything else. So until you are not completely exhausted, all of your can I put it into words, options available and potential for growth into your current job, those cards are advising you to stick with your current job. For a love situation, that's no-brainer. If you love your current partner, well, then at least for these couple of weeks, you should not chase a new one, if you do have an affection to a new one. And well, basically the lesson that you need to learn, it is that if you do not have what you are sitting on in a state of being consolidated, it can be jeopardized in favor of what you are chasing. The thing is that you need to realize, Capricorn, that according to these cards, that life isn't about going from one thing to another, you know, and when you have the enterprise in a relatively stable state, you just, you know, jump to the next enterprise, and at the end of the day you're finding yourself with a bazillion things that you will have to manage amongst, right? But instead, life is about, at the end of the day, what you can account for, and until you have it your own, you cannot account for it, because should one thing can be any given moment taken away from you, then it's not yours. It is, Shakti. Yeah, it is. That's why I refrain myself of making a free reading for people who are asking me to make a choice for them. Okay? If you came for a personal reading and you paid for it, I warn you about me making choices for you, but if you insist, I will do it. You paid for it, I will do it. So that is Capricorn's reading, a little bit more spiritual than practical reading here, but you basically can shoot yourself 3 times in the foot, and that's not gonna be a good experience for you. All right, moving on. Next we do have Aquarius. My rising. It's a good start. Knight of Cups, followed by, no, it's not a good start, the Hermit. Then it is the Four of Pentacles. Then it is the King of Swords. And then it is the Death. Well, let me tell you about the Hermit sitting in a position that is disadvantageous. You know, a position of sort of, you know, what works against you, what holds you back, and so on. That is the delusion that what you do is important, but in reality, none of it matters. It may matter now, but at the end of the day, for the culmination, it has no attachment whatsoever, in a sense of that you do something now, at the end of the day, you're still gonna end up where you are supposed to end up. Okay, which, by the way, it's a nasty thing to say, but actually it works to our benefit into this week. So what do I mean? Okay, I mean that, say you do have the important choice right now to make a committed relationship with someone or not. Whether you make the choice to do it or not, that is not gonna matter in a relation to if you are meant to be happy or not in terms of your relationship. If you do enter in a relationship and you are meant to be happy, but that person is making you miserable, you are not going to be bound to the person, and you may break up that relationship in a couple of days or in a week or whatnot. Okay, same thing about the career. So that is how the Hermit really plays out. What we do this week, it's not going to be important at all, and that's why this this reading here advises us to do what we feel we should, in a sense of what I would say that way, what makes us happy. I will try to explain it in another way. Hold on a second. Let me find the traditional Knight of Cups. There it is. Right. So the traditional Knight of Cups. What does the Knight does? It holds a cup in front of him and follows it. What the cup represents? Well, the cup represents the wishes of our heart, the dreams of our heart, what makes us feel emotionally good. So this week, as an Aquarius, you do only what you like, and what you do not like, you should not feel entitled of doing it, because it's not gonna matter. It may have certain consequences, like you know, putting you in a disadvantageous position and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you are meant to spend your or rather, like, if you set yourself up to spend the rest of your life with that person, just because these couple of weeks you decided to spend more time with your friends because that is your preference, or this is what you would like more than spending time at home, will not change that person's mind of that they are going to stay with you until they are allowed to, so to speak. I hope I do make sense here. And same thing about your work. put more efforts. Well, in work is a little bit more complicated because, you know, you do have duties, but if you can't choose, you should choose the one you like more over the one that you may think you need to do. Okay, first or second or whatever. And that said, these couple of weeks for Aquarius should be spent in a pleasant environment, should be spent indulging ourselves with things we like. You know, you like reading book, well, read books. You like watching TV all day long, by all means, right? Because I'm saying that because usually people, when they start doing what they like for a prolonged period of time, they start feeling themselves useless. No, the word is not useless, but they start feeling themselves like selfish and like they're not doing the maximum out of their life and so on and so forth. The thing it is, even if you change that, it ain't gonna matter. So what is the best thing we can, or rather, like, how can I put it into words? What is the best attitude we can adopt as Aquarius into the next couple of weeks? Well, we should put an extra effort into the things or the enterprises which we can ensure their future, rather than gambling. If you don't know how things are gonna turn out, or if you don't know if you can hold up to it, just leave it aside if you don't have time for it, and just move on your efforts to deals, people, etc., that you know that are there to stay. And also this transit is gonna liberate us, is gonna make us more refined, so to speak. That is because there are gonna, those things which are in flux from our character, right, from our environment, they're gonna start giving way, room and space to new stuff to appear. They're not gonna appear quite in those couple of weeks, but we're gonna have the room and the space when the future comes, so they can take their representative places. All right, last but not least, we do have Pisces. Queen of Cups, a very fitted card for Pisces, by the way. So we do have Queen of Cups, followed by the Two of Wands. Moving on next, that's going to be the Seven of Wands. And then it is the Two of Swords. And the final one, that's going to be the Fool. Thank you, Susie. Have a wonderful one. Thank you, Unbreakable One. So, pretty easy one for Pisces. After the two very difficult reads, one for Capricorn and one for Aquarius. Pisces' lunar cycle is gonna be so laid back and laid back and kind of like easy. I don't know how to even explain it here. It's just things are gonna follow their natural flow, and you know, nothing out of the ordinary really is going to happen, unless you do not seek trouble. Now there is that thing into the cards, And this is gonna be, by the way, what you are prone into. Those two are showing it here, the Two of Wands and the Seven of Wands. It is where you on your own may start seeking trouble, because again, you may feel that you are not doing enough. And that is a lesson that you need to learn. Yes, maybe you are not doing enough in a sense of that you are not unfolding your maximum potential, but what you may not consider when that thought comes to you and you kind of like start rumbling things around, it is that there is a time and place for it. Okay? There is a time and place for it. For example, just because you like someone, right? You do not show up your private parts in public just because, you know, you like the person and you want to show them to them or show your private parts to them, right? Or you do not talk business when you make love because it ruins the love, right? Or you do not ask your friend for money when you know that they don't have any. It's just, these are the examples, kind of like drastic examples, but that is, you know, the magnitude that you may find yourself into as a situation. So that is a part of your lesson that you need to learn, Pisces, that there is a time and place for everything. And right now, it's not the time nor the place for you to unfold your potential. So save yourself, because otherwise the only thing that you are gonna win of all that, it's more enemies. Okay, more competition, more people that wanna see you down. Why? Well, first of all, it is because, you know, you won't, well, that's kind of like you're not gonna make much of a progress at all. It's so at the end of the day, that potential is gonna feel wasted, but also people are gonna see what you are truly capable of, and they're not gonna like it. Okay, they will feel threatened, they will feel replaceable by you. One more example, okay? You do not steal your friend's boyfriend or a girlfriend just because you like them. I mean, you wait until they break up and then you make your move. That's just another example. Your time is gonna come, maybe not within those couple of weeks, but the hints that your time is gonna come will be shown into those couple of weeks where the moon is, which are marked by the new moon in Sagittarius. You just have to patiently wait. Other than that, your love life is gonna carry on, your business is gonna carry on, your career is gonna carry on, your job, your friendships are gonna carry on. So it may be boring transit, okay, but it's going to be self-sustaining transit with a leverage there to have a movement into one or another direction later on into the future, but not now. And when that movement is about to ensue, the direction of it will be obvious to you. So take it easy. It's the appeal here, and just do what you signed for. Right, so that concludes Pisces, and now one of you can have a free reading with me, and in order to claim it, just input a question into the comments down below. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do so, and after these 5 minutes I'm going to pick one of your questions, if there are any, of course, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. And after that, the super chat readings are going to take place. Anyone who decides to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are going to have your readings at the end of the stream, which is nigh. That's guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the readings are going to be that very same format I did for the star signs, the 5-card spread. Yeah, stay chill. Important. I am trying to take care of myself. About the health, not much I can do. As you can see, guys, my nose is running, so I guess I am catching up a cold again. Because yeah, but that stream was meant to happen yesterday, but I wasn't feeling very well. Today I'm much better, but still. I don't know. Maybe my immune system is giving up. Thank you, Jen. So I was saying maybe my immune system is giving up because I remember the times, I mean, a few years ago, I did not know what sickness is. Okay, it's just flu outbreaks, etc. I just didn't care. It never caught me. But now it seems that I am having a cold every single month. That's not a good thing. Probably I should go and check myself out. All right, so I guess there are no questions. In that case, moving straight away to the super chat readings. First one is gonna be Liz. Afterwards, Jasmine, Mattia, Emily, and at the end we are gonna have Jen. Good night, Pisces Moonbeam. Oh, it's gonna be a yeah. Uh, that's gonna be a good full moon in a new moon. I don't know why I'm saying new moon in Sagittarius for you, Liz. We do have the Three of Pentacles for you, and that card pretty much speaks for a lot of support that you will face when it comes to your own personal enterprises. You want to build something, people will support you. You want to do something, people will support you. You want to go somewhere, people will support you, especially if you don't have the resources. Okay, and that card is extremely good, for example, for business ventures, which speaks for a lot of fruitful cooperations that you are going to do with your clients, with your workers or co-workers, with basically the human assets which are around you, although it carries on a certain criticism. So if you aren't doing something correctly, you will be told so, and mind you, not in the best tongue possible, but that is not to make you feel bad or anything, but to make a strong point instead, so you do not make the same mistake twice. And also in terms of personal interactions and relationships, you can expect a lot of fruitful discussions about, you know, where you are heading with it, you know, where this friendship is heading, where that relationship is heading, where that romance is heading, and so on and so forth. So really, really good full moon, a new moon in Sagittarius for you. A lot of things will become clear to you, and you will be, how can I put it into words, way more aware of how far you can go through the support of others. All right, next one we have Jasmine. Hello, Rocky. Welcome to the stream. We are now on the super chat though. Thank you so much for your 27.99 Canadians, Rocky. Thank you. Make sure that you do stick a little bit longer, where you're gonna have your personalized reading for the new moon in Sagittarius. Well, for the super chat, you aren't. All right, Jasmine, you gotta be very careful this new moon in Sagittarius. Okay, that is because we do have the King of Cups into the second position, which is accompanied with the King of Swords. Okay, that is what we have, and what those two cards are displaying is most likely some kind of it's not a romantic offer, right? It's more of it's an offer of a nature of a competency. So that person is claiming that they do have the competency, and they do to a certain extent, but not the whole of it. So before you accept any kind of offer, it's very important that you do make your research, right? Very, very important, because otherwise you may get yourself into some, by the way, it's going to be very tempting offer, very tempting proposal, so to speak. It could be even an offer for a help. Someone may claim that they can do the renovations in your home if you are doing on a very cheap price. I mean, almost unbelievable, and they will try to reassure you that it's all legit, right? They can do everything, but it's going to turn out that they can't, and it may cost you more than you know, right? So very important to do your research before you take any kind of offer from any kind of person. Other than that, Jasmine, the transit is going to excel you, right? Aside from that offer, what we do have here is that throughout these couple of weeks, a lot of your concerns and issues are going to simply start arranging themselves, like they're going to start sorting themselves out. And that is going to mark the end of a certain year of a turmoil. So for example, if your love life is in turmoil, this is where the problems of your love life are going to start resolving themselves. If your business is in turmoil, this is where the problems are going to start resolving themselves. And things are gonna resolving themselves to such an extent that you are gonna start thinking of that they are too good to be true. They aren't. Okay, and this is designed here by the Seven of Cups being into the third position. However, this card carries on a message that's how can I put it into you? How can I put it into words? That you should not beguile yourself into belief that succeeding is a piece of cake. Even if it is easy, just respect it. That's the least you can do into these couple of weeks. But other than that, we have a solid improvement in your life in general. And by the way, whatever expectations, ideals, or standards you do have, they all can be met. And the lesson that you are to learn there is that, how can I put it into words? Is that if you are not emotionally attached to what is happening, then you do not need to be a part of it at all. So that gives you a room to say no. And I believe that that's a part of the lesson, that you need to learn to say no. Someone offers you something and you kind of like feel a little bit off, but out of politeness, you can't say no. That's a wrong attitude, okay? You feel a little bit off, you should say no right away. All right, next one, Mattia. And I don't wanna kind of like lift your hopes unnecessary, Jasmine, but that may be the very well 2 weeks that you're gonna start feeling the unfolding love we spoke about a few readings ago. But as it's a general reading for the transit, that is just one option, okay, that may or may not happen, but it's possible, very possible to happen. But definitely, Jasmine, you're going to feel liberated from a lot of concerns, a lot of problems that you are facing. All right, Mattia. First one for you, Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Seven of Pentacles. Then it is the Three of Pentacles, followed by the Magician. And the final one, that's going to be the Judgment. All right, Jen, I'm going to insert that to your super chat inquiry. Now, Mattia, that is a transit of action that we do have in front of you, okay? And loitering about, okay? Even not just only loitering, wandering about. It's going to be not crucial, but what is the word? Catastrophic, so to speak. What we do have, it is that into those couple of weeks, you are gonna stumble upon a rare opportunity to pretty much proceed with your goal. I don't know what your goal currently is, though, only you know, but you're gonna have that opportunity to proceed. For example, if your goal is to grow your business, then the next couple of weeks will present you with the opportunity to make a really lucrative and successful business maneuvers, okay? If your goal, and that is your current goal, it doesn't work like you hear that reading and suddenly you make up a goal. It is the goal up until now. If your goal, for example, it is to rest, then the next couple of weeks will present you with that opportunity to have time on your own, to do what you like, and so on and so forth. If your goal it is to have a healthy relationship, then the upcoming couple of weeks will present you with the opportunity to establish such a thing, harmonious relationship where, you know, what works for you works for the other side, and so on and so forth. In generally, you will have the rare opportunity to settle content, excitement, exhilaration around you, okay, into what you do, but you cannot do it alone, right? No one can do it alone. So that especially speaks about business, that if you are to grow your business, your mindset should be through cooperation, like cooperating with another entity or adding up a business partner, so on and so forth. And that's will be that needs to happen under, how can I put it into words, under the conditions that what you lack in business the other person should have, and what they lack you should have, so you both can support each other. Because otherwise, if you are all of the same, you can't support each other, because, you know, what you have they have, so that there is no need for support there. The support is very, very important here. And basically, well, the lesson that you need to learn, which comes the aspect which comes from the lesson, diversifies based on, are we talking about career or are we talking about relationship. So in career, what you are gonna learn, it is that you can have your way, okay, without jeopardizing your the word is not exactly independence, the word is more like a sovereignty. Okay, so you can maintain your sovereignty and still be a partner into the business. There is a way that could be accomplished. So for example, if you know, you can forge the business partnership, but the other side wants to assimilate your business, right, and to work and to make you work under their brand, you still can maintain your brand in a certain way. That can be negotiated in those couple of weeks. You know, it's a way that can serve you both. That is just an example, though. In interactions, relationships, whether friendships, whether even business relationships, you will grow to learn into those couple of weeks, and I believe that is what you do, but still, that's it doesn't worth it if you do not play yourself, but play as someone else. So you will become even more yourself when it comes to placing yourself into one or another situation into the next couple of weeks, Mattia. And no matter what you face, the universe or God or whatever you believe in, it's always gonna present you with a way through or a way out. Which one you decide to take. And also situations that you are baffled about, like you don't know what is going on there, why things are happening that way, are going to be setting clear. They are simply going to be obvious to you from there on moving forward. The obscurity is no longer going to be in present. Really strong transit for you, Mattia, for as long as you do take on that rare opportunity to further thy goal. Next, Emily. Emily, I need to ask you something before I give you my interpretation. Is there a enterprise you want to launch, but people do not believe in that enterprise? It is that no one believes that it will be successful or is going to work out. Is there such a thing? that's as long story short, people believe that, or are making you, or trying to make you to believe that you are going to be better without it, or someone or somewhere else. Is there such a thing? I'm going to wait for about a couple of minutes for you to answer. That is important to tell me, is there such a thing or not, for the interpretation of the cards. No, not you, Jen. Emily. Right now I'm reading for Emily. You are next, though. Possible that is still an enterprise. I consider that still an enterprise. Well, this carries on a couple of messages in that specific case. First of all, you can make people understand you. It's just the way you need to explain yourself. If you do care of making people to understand you, it is that you have to explain yourself in a way that you are to be understood from a kid which is in a 3rd grade or into the daycare. That is the way you need to start explaining yourself. If you do care about getting the support of the people which are around you, whether co-workers, whether family members, etc., etc., you can do fine without it as well. Now, this new career change, according to these cards, or that idea, because it's not about the career change, but it is about the idea of the enterprise itself, right? Or the path or whatever. It's gonna give you wings. It's going to unfold your potential so much more that I don't think you would believe it at the very end. And what the cards are advising you is to give it a go, no matter what those around you think. Because, long story short, because of that King of Wands into the 2nd position, pretty much explains why people may not believe in you or may try to talk you out of this career choice. It's because you're going to be uncomfortable. For them, that is. No different than, changing your career is going to make you change your job. And you make your boss comfortable working for them. Okay, so that is the reason. Look at it that way. It is that those who are making you or try to make you give up on that idea of yours, independent thoughts, so to speak, are thinking not of you, but they're thinking for themselves. They don't care about you. They care only for themselves. They don't care even for themselves. They care about their results. They are willing to sacrifice even themselves for the results they're trying to achieve. That is one of the message. Now, the other message that we do have, it is that the upcoming 2 weeks, you may face a lot of disruptions into communication, like you are trying to pass a message and the other person just wrongly takes it. Okay, you're trying to give a compliment and instead you're taken as an insult. You're trying to make a point, same thing happens. It's like it's gonna be this very awkward kind of like communicative state, so to speak. And that's why it will be very important to be extra elaborative when it comes to it, when it comes to talking with someone, or explaining yourself or passing up a point, like I said. Another thing it is that it will come to your realization that not everybody which is around you, which I already made a point of, wishes you the best. And this is going to nest the thought that you will have to very soon make a purge. Now, this purge is not going to take place in the next couple of weeks, but you are going to start strongly considering it, making a purge into your social circle and the people that you are relating with, okay? And also, well, that is a minor one, but still very important for you, Emily. It is that within those couple of weeks, you are going to come to the conclusion that no matter where the help is coming from, it's a help nonetheless. I don't know if you do have any kind of like presumptions where you should get help from and where not, or what kind of a help you should get from or not. But nonetheless, after those couple of weeks, you are going to be more open for options available where the help could come from. Long story short for you, Emily, this lunar transit, it's not going to be very active in terms of you doing stuff around. It's going to be more like you preparing to start doing stuff around in a direction that you had been held about up until this point, for numerous reasons, but you will be held no more. You will be free to do what you think is best, and that will allow you to step outside of your comfort zone and produce bigger results for yourself. Next, it's Jen Larry with a specific inquiry. How is my writing business direction? I take that as, is my writing business going to do well? You're welcome, Emily. Well, I don't know how you're going to take that, Jen. Hold on a second. Those are your cards. Do I have the Seven of Swords? Then it is the Queen of Cups, followed by the Six of Cups, and the final one, that's going to be the Four of Swords. So according to these cards, Jen, you are not doing it. I was about to say that you are doing just the bare minimum right now, but I will be a little bit more mild and I will say you are not doing enough. Now, according to your standards, you may be to satisfy your needs, right? To satisfy your criteria. What about the publishers? What about the readers? Okay, what those cards are showing, it is that if you do want this direction, by the way, we should make that plural because you can do so much more than just following only one direction, one option available. Okay, other than fulfilling your vision, your needs, and your expectations about your writing direction, you should fulfill the needs and the expectations at least of your readers. I'm sorry, not writers, readers, and as well your publishers here, because these cards are clear that, I don't know if that's true, but they are clear that there are a lot of criterias that you do not want to hold up to. Okay, I don't know if those criterias are obvious to you right now or not, but it is just you're not doing it, and that is what is holding you back, right? That is exactly what's holding you back. Long story short, okay, should you unravel it's very possible that a negotiation for a, I don't know how it works out with publishers and all that. I never published anything, but a negotiations for a print, let's put it that way, it's going to be established by the start of July next year. Okay, by the start of July next year. But you definitely gotta stir yourself about searching publishers, about making your market, etc., etc. You know, about all these things you mentioned. You are doing the bare minimum about opportunities, options available, etc., etc. All right, Rocky. I will do that. So that is your reading, Jen. Literally, I mean, you're doing a good job. Don't get me wrong, but you're doing a good job for yourself. However, when you are to present a work, right, a work of writing, it needs to appeal, not to you, but to the readers, to the audience. All right. Last but not least is gonna be Rocky FX. All right, Rocky. In 3 weeks from now, your chances to get a job increase significantly. So that is from the mid of December moving forward. Okay. For certain, you should have a job by the end of summer next year. That's pretty obvious. I mean, you can't stay jobless by that point. That is what's that is kind of like the final verdict in terms of a time frame here. Those are your cards. Okay, so we do have the Strength. Good night, Jen. The Temperance. Then it is the Six of Cups. And afterwards, it is the Four of Wands. Okay. So it's quite of an interesting read. First of all, the job should be something challenging that you should try. Although when I say challenging, you need to have the full competency of the job itself. So that is the direction where you should start searching for job. For what those cards are showing here, somewhat you are trying to find a for the lack of a better word, I'm gonna use a balanced position, like a position with not that much of a responsibilities, you know, yet to pay enough to meet ends. And it's kind of like a position that's does not require, it requires but does not require much. And position that doesn't really gives a prerequisite for a growth. So kind of like take it that way. It is that you became jobless, I don't know when, But that was the end of a certain job. Now the next one needs to be something bigger. That should be your strive for the next job here. Okay, and you have all the chances to really like, not just only like, but love your next job. That's all I can say in such a narrative. Like I said, from 3 weeks from now, you have all the chances to get a great job. So I'm going to give you now a few expectations. If it happens that you can start the job into the 3rd week from now, okay, the job is going to be completely reciprocal with what you can do. So that is going to be the most ordinary and how can I put it, into a mundane and generic job you can have. 4 weeks from now, if it happens that this is the time you land a job, a very exciting, enterprising job, a lot of risk takings though, okay, and it will be a very dynamic job. You will barely gonna have time to think of something else for quite a while. 5 weeks from now, it's gonna be a job that it is that relates to your unique skills. Basically, if you land a job 5 weeks from now, then you are going to be almost irreplaceable at that job, which is good because you are going to be paid well. But in the same time, it's not that good, because if you are irreplaceable at one place, how you can grow to a next place, right? It's a bit impossible. It's a bit contradictable. 6 weeks from now, if you are able to land a job 6 weeks from now, it will be a job that's more or less was a job you hope that one day you're going to work at, because it's going to allow you to develop some kind of a preparation or a plan you had for quite a while, and it's going to have all perks and the traits that you hope one day to have. And if you do land a job 7 weeks from now, well, that job is gonna make you very happy. I don't know how. Anna, thank you so much for your $20 support. Thank you, Anna. Make sure, not make sure, but keep in mind, Rocky, that this is based on your current standing and your current decisions. Tomorrow, if you decide stop looking for work, then that all is gonna change. Okay, so if you keep doing what you are doing right now, that is the potential you end up with. I hope I had been thorough with the prediction. All right, Anna, your turn. But again, Rocky, you gotta be bold about looking for work. That is one of the conditions. You gotta be engaging. Okay, you gotta always kind of like try to how can I put it into words? Try to surpass yourself into the attempts of looking for work. Anna, give me a second. So those are the cards. 6 of Pentacles with 7 of Swords, Then we have the Six of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and the final one is the Five of Cups. Anna, this new moon in Sagittarius for you, it is the 2 weeks where it will be very productive if you give way to your own needs in favor of the needs of others. I hate such a state. But for you is going to be important because, long story short, you are gonna help others without depriving yourself of anything. And later on down the path, I don't know what's the reason for it, but later on down the path, this help, even unconscious help that you are to provide, is going to provide for you. This is what we do have here. Okay, this is what we do have here, where the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords sits. And so I want you to observe the Six of Pentacles. We do have a merchant who is giving a change to two beggars, right? Does this act changes anything? Because yeah, the change could help the beggar today to buy a meal, find a warm place to sleep through the night, right? But tomorrow the merchant is still gonna be a merchant, the beggar is still gonna be a beggar. Which brings us to the other interpretation. It is that this is the week, or rather like the 2 weeks, where you are about to come to the realization that at the end of the day, if you want to do something right, you gotta do it yourself, girl. I mean, you can't rely on anyone else. I mean, if you do need help, you can ask for it, sure, and help is gonna come about. But unfortunately, according to these cards, the help is not going to solve your issues. It's just going to postpone them. It's no different than taking a loan to cover a loan, like taking a loan from one bank to repay a loan to another. At the end of the day, you get an extension, but you still owe those money. And until you start working for more or doing something to improve your financial income, you will be in debt no matter what. So in terms of your business, those cards to me speaks that you should think about services that suffice for your clients rather than services which are convenient to you. In terms of your personal relationships, for what those cards are showing here, you should think more about, you know, how to make the people you care about comfortable rather than making yourself comfortable. And if this is your these are your intentions, that even better. But what I'm trying to say here, Anna, is that throughout these couple of weeks is gonna kind of like a thought is gonna start wriggling in that you should be more selfish, which you should not allow that thought to kind of like nest, okay, and fester in your mind, at least for these couple of weeks. So yeah, in terms of your relationships, you should think about, you know, what is more convenient about the people that you do care about, and what is going to help the people that you do care about. Important thing that you are going to come to a conclusion to into those couple of weeks is that you are sitting on a lot. What is that a lot? I cannot say. That is a realization that you are going to come up to, and still that a lot can become even bigger. How you're going to make it bigger, that depends entirely on you. And finally, for you, Anna, these are going to be 2 weeks where you literally are going to have a huge resilience toward disappointments and also losses, should there be any, because, you know, giving away from thyself kind of like, at least at the start, is considered as a loss, even if you do not lose anything, right? Giving a change, it's not a loss to the merchant, although it may feel a loss in the moment of the act. But it is a replaceable thing. He's going to make up for that change very, very quickly with one deal, for example. So that is the resilience that you're going to have. And also, no matter what happens, whatever path you chose, nothing is going to be able to sway you off that path. That is your new moon in Sagittarius. And that is gonna do it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for attending and for your support. Thank you as well for your generosity. If you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, which link you're gonna find in the description down below. There at the very front page, you're gonna see a full list of my services and also their pricing. And we're gonna see each other very, very soon. The next considered live stream is Monday. I'm gonna love to have you there. And yeah, until then, bye.